Ku did not stop doing other things aside from singing. She put up her businesses with the likes of Music Museum, Republic of Malate, her own production company, Headline Concepts, her own recording studio, Bravo Records. She had so many dreams, and slowly, they were all happening to Ku.
Si Ku is a very dramatic performer on stage. She's aware of her persona, she's aware of her image and how she projects to the audience. So she has an element of theater in her talaga. She was becoming a superstar on her own right.
We enter. There are always risks involved. And Ku managed to handle all of these. She's also busy managing Hacienda Isabela. Through all the trials and tests in her life, where does she get her inspiration? How does she cope? And how does she rise again? Pag-usapan natin ang mga trials, challenges, and successes sa buhay ni Ku. We're back here with Ku Ledesma. Masaya talaga to. Anyway, conscious na tuloy ako kasi alam na niya aking mga intricacies. Miss Ku, you went to the States in 1990. What made you go to the States? And what made you stay there?
I wanted to do a record, which I did, actually.
Yes, with what label?
It was for an independent label, and I did my album Precious there. It was very precious because it costed a ton of money.
Really? So that was the purpose of why you wanted. So was it because you wanted to see for yourself what it would be like to cut internationally, to break through internationally? But already you've had many performances with a lot of international artists. Why in the States?
Not naman to be released there. I did a lot of performances here locally, but not with an album in America. Yeah.
And
that
how
was an
long did you stay
experience
there?
How long? Mga 6 years din.
Tagal din yun.
Matagal din.
So it was a good respite from all these busy schedules.
I learned a lot. You know, I learned a lot.
Would you say that that was a part in your life also that you decided to take it slow and...
No, I didn't slow down.
It wasn't slow.
No,
it was work. And you did also concerts.
I did. And I would go back and forth. Medyo nakakapagod lang.
And you were based in LA.
Based in LA.
In fact, even there, I was watching your concerts. Wow! Alam mo, sama tayo ng tadhana. Si Ku, kung saan-saan ka pala nag-perform, nandun talaga ako.
True yan.
Ano, labas na fan na pala ako. Okay.
Parang masama loob mo eh. Ano ba?
Oo nga. Diba? Ganun ang dating. What made you come back?
Hindi naman ako umalis talaga eh. Kailan there was this newspaper article that said I was leaving for good. And that was not true. It was only because I was going to, you know, start a home there so that I can, you know,
shuttle back
and forth.
So how much time did you spend there? Like 6 months, 6 months?
No, I would go 2 months and then 3 months, you know.
And Isabella would be traveling back and forth with you.
Sometimes
here, studying.
Yeah.
So how did that affect, in fact, your personal life at that point? Then you were married, very much
married.
married.
Mali pala yun, yung to be away from your husband for a long time.
Bakit na-realize mong mali?
Ngayon ko lang na-realize yun eh.
Ganun.
Kasi syempre, husbands and wives should not be separated for a long time.
So what are you saying? That the downfall of the marriage is because you were always
I wouldn't say that. But at the same time, it does not help a marriage when two people are separated for a long time. We're supposed to be together. Kasi it's hard for a man to be alone.
You really think so? But then again, at the
even
same
a woman.
time, true. But at the same time, wouldn't you say that you were also trying to grow and express yourself and reach your potential in as far as you should?
Yes, but there's a reality about, you know, the spiritual and the physical needs of, you know, two people who are married.
So it's finding the balance.
It's hard to explain kasi it will take a long explanation, but just to say that what I have learned from that experience and from what I know now, I will not advise it. That's why I feel sad when, you know, the husbands have to go to, you know, a faraway place to get a job and all that. It's necessary, but it takes a lot. You will have to pray a lot to keep the marriage together, that you will still come back, you're faithful to the wife and all that. It's difficult.
I understand what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of temptations.
Paano ka ba ma-in love?
Ako?
Oo.
Grabe.
Oh,
Paano ko ma-in love?
Intense.
Oo naman, syempre.
Selosa.
Syempre, artist tayo. No?
Yeah, are you selosa?
No, that's one thing I'm not. I'm not selosa.
Really?
It's happening na pala under my eyes, hindi pa ako nagsiselos.
Hindi mo alam.
Hindi ako ganun eh. I
So,
trust kasi. Ngayon na much more
popular.
sensitive. Eng ako nun.
Ignorante.
Hindi ko pa alam, meron na pala. I'm not sensitive about those things.
So if there was something you had to redo
Redo?
in your
I would
life.
certainly seek more counseling. People are much more experienced in marriage. I certainly would have gone to Bible classes more, started earlier in my life. And I would certainly have prayed a lot to choose my partner
From the beginning.
from the beginning.
I see.
I would have prayed God's best. I'm not saying that He didn't send me the best, but
Your spirituality
I have to admit, I didn't really invest.
strong then.
I just got into the relationship.
Paano ka ba linigawan ni Louie at na...
Kanta.
Kantahan din, gano'n.
Hindi, binigyan niya na ako ng kanta.
Akala ko...
Tapos magaling siya manligaw eh, kasi nagpapatawa,
Oo.
he's karinyoso.
Ganon.
Kasi he's a very nice guy.
But you've been very private actually about your personal life, no? No? But yet,
Buti na
nobody
lang.
dared touch it. But were there some intrigues when they came along? How did you deal with it?
Well, one thing I didn't like to do is talk about, the
Yeah.
details of my separation and all that
Right.
in national television. Kasi I think it's such
Sure.
it's such bad taste to do that, I cannot believe how women can, but thank God, I was probably bitter about our separation for a very short time. And then I started becoming very prayerful. Or else, baka kung ano-anong nagawa ko, masakit di ba?
Yeah.
But thank God, He was...
You rose above it.
Well, let's just say that God protected me, from looking very ugly about the whole thing.
And hurting
Diba?
back.
Because we can look ugly when we're angry.
Yeah, of course. Because we tend to speak ill of the other without realizing
Sure.
that we are, because we've been hurt.
Oo.
Instead, you use that moment to heal.
Right.
And at this point, like I asked you earlier, is there anything in you that you wish if you had to turn the tables around, do you have that dire wish that somehow you could come back together again if God leads you to Him again?
If that's God's will, that is certainly what I would like.
Right.
And it is God's will for marriages to be restored. I have to be honest.
You're open to that.
I'm open to that, but if He's not going to be good for me, then I don't want it. You know what I mean? But if God thinks that it will be good for me, then I will just trust God because He knows what's good for me. I think sometimes I know what's good for me because it will make me happy, but it's not about something that will make you happy. There are many things that we'll not understand, diba? About the spiritual world and the battles that go on there. But he certainly is bigger than me. I'm nothing compared to the wisdom of God, diba?
And sometimes what you think or don't think is good for you is even coming from the most difficult circumstances, in fact, that He brings upon you, right?
Yeah.
That seems to turn out to be a good lesson, and that's why He makes
Yes,
it
in
happen.
all things He works for our good.
And hindi nga ba dapat equally you? But what's the best thing that came out of all this and the marriage, in fact? What is the best thing that came out?
Sabi nga, sa Romans 8:28, sa libro ng Romans, no? In all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who are called according to His purpose. So I always say, well, this must have been really the will of God for me to marry my husband because I found my salvation through my husband. Whatever the pain that the breakup caused and all that. And I do understand that sometimes it is only a part of God's plan.
A catalyst.
Merong mas malaking picture that I don't know the end yet, but God knows the end. Andito na ako malapit na yung end. So, all I have to do is embrace it and say, Lord, I trust you. You go ahead and orchestrate my life. You know what's good for me. Basta ang ending ko sa langit, okay lang sa akin yan. Diba?
Pinagdadasal mo ba na sana huwag ka maging mag-isa for the rest of your
Oo
life?
naman, lagi, on my knees.
Well, maybe He's prepared you lang for the better one
Of
to come your
course.
way.
Well, whoever that is, or if it is still, the same person, hopefully, ibabalik niya Pag-ayos na. Sabi ko, balik mo pag-ayos na, Lord.
Kagaya ng
Diba?
sinabi mo sa akin, ikaw muna. Di ba?
Tama.
Work with
Ako
yourself.
muna inaayos ni Lord.
Ikaw na nagsabi
Oo.
sa akin.
Tama yun.
Then you become good for the other.
Yes.
And then you were gifted with a beautiful, beautiful daughter, Isabella. I think this is the best gift. At the end of that, though difficult, though painful. Hindi nga ba?
My daughter
You
also
see
is very, very mature.
Yeah, she's amazing. She has this wonderful charming smile. And what do you feel when you see her now growing up to be like a lady? And a lady as it is right now.
She realizes that she has much to learn, but she knows that she has a lot of talents. It's a matter of, she's a very gifted, natural painter, artist, yeah. And she has a wonderful voice. Mas mataas pa sa akin, mas malakas pa.
Saan ang
But
galing
it
sa'yo?
all has to be honed and, ano rin yan artist din So, alam mo na.
Sa lakas ng dugo mo,
But
pati
she's
ang
a
mukha. We should show a picture here. That's actually cool there. When her younger years, shall we say?
Oo.
A little bit
Yesterday.
younger yesterday. And that's Isabella next to her.
Yeah.
Tingnan mo naman ang parang pinagbiyak na bunga.
Ganun ba yun? Sige.
Pati yung widow's peak. So
Yeah.
talaga sa'yo nagmana. And nag-duet kayo. Do you feel threatened? Magaling siya, di ba? Mahusay siya. What do you feel? Sabi ni Michael na when he watched AJ pa, teka muna, medyo yata sablay na dahil magaling na yun. Oh, ganun ba na feeling mo?
Hindi.
Never. I think you'll always be proud of them, right?
Oo.
Cool. If you were to now talk to God, I mean, if you walked in heaven, itong mga fast talk na to, what would you tell God?
God? Bakit, Lord? Never lang.
Why was this all for me?
No. I will, wow.
My question.
Hindi yata ako makakapagsalita, Pero, what would I say? Thank you for taking me to heaven.
And what question would you ask of him?
What question? Wow. Ang hirap na question yan, wow, hindi ko maano.
Oo nga. I guess you'll know when you see him.
San si
You cross the bridge when you
San
get
si
there.
Paul, Saint Paul. I would like to meet Saint Paul. He's one of the prolific writers of the Bible.
That's true.
Amazing servant of God.
The book of...
Yeah.
What are you proud of, Ku?
What am I proud of? My relationship with Christ.
And the growth.
Yeah.
Ilang years na yan?
7. 7. But yung totoo, 4 years.
Strong.
Yung real
Strong
commitment.
growth talaga. What are your frustrations?
My frustrations? That sometimes it's difficult to share Christ with people because it's not time yet. And my desire is really for people to know Him because I want people I love to be blessed fully, not just partially in life. And because I know what I went through to get the kind of relationship I have with the Lord. And I see myself in them before I had my relationship with Jesus. So that frustrates me a lot. But then I have learned to live and trust God that, I don't even have to say anything. Sometimes I just have to pray and things happen, miracles happen.
Who has